Hello and welcome everybody into Trackmania World Tour. I'm back with Creedy again, and it is day 2 of the Trackmania APAC Regionals, number 3. And yesterday looked like it was a bit of a blast. We had some more standardized action. I know looking back to number 2, it was all Australia by this point, but we've got some Asia back in the mix this time around. How did you think it went yesterday?
Overall, I would say it went as planned. Of course, with various types of seedings, how people panned out, of course. It ended up being, for example, that Bandits didn't make the day number 2, as they had a very a best of 5 going going all the way through, and with DXA, of course, Gimme and Pixels, and they ended up then giving that spot away. And you had the likes of Skedaddle getting through instead through bit of luck as well, because of how of the seedings and everything, and they sort of got a buy-in to the top 8. So, you had a bit of topsy-turvy, some interesting stuff as well. And with the last quarterfinals, well, most of them went as predicted, but the DXA Singapore and the main lineup match went to all the way to best of 7. So that one was a good way to end it. But today, I mean, pretty good stuff. And, improvement from last APEC. I'm actually awake this time. So, everything's going up Millhouse.
Yeah, everything's coming up Millhouse. I gotta say, you're right. Coming up with a full best of 7 is always the way you want to end off a stream. Of course, all the other quarterfinal matches going 4-0, so full sweeps across there. Some really strong showings. We'll have to see if it's just that DXA picks really amazing squads and they went head-to-head because they're both incredible, or if maybe the other teams coming out of the other brackets were so dominant because they are better. It's possible, but we won't see that straight away. In fact, here are your qualified teams and our matches for the day. I believe we're starting off with Restless versus Ferox APAC, and Trident Esports versus DXA Esports will be up next.
Indeed, all of the semifinals will be played individually, so everybody gets their own moment of glory here as well. And of course, it is Restless and Ferox APAC to start us off as well, and it is actually quite important at the moment as well for points-wise as well, because there's still teams that are fighting for those spots for the wild card as well. You have DXA, you have of course, you have Trident, you have DXA Singapore, who are now out because of their counterparts, but still Ferox is on the edge as well. Bebop Edge, I believe, just is sort of equal with the... Well, no, actually not. They're not equal with DXA Singapore. So, there's still, ups and downs there, and eventually MM will do its job as well. So, still a lot to play for, to be honest.
Yeah, and there should be as well. Really important as well, as this is the last day of APAC Regionals for the entire event. In fact, last day of Regionals in general across Trackmania World Tour. So really nice to be on again for the final event here, final day of events. And look, we got to get into it, but Creedy, we have seen everybody able to put out the predictions right now in the chat, actually in Twitch. Restless versus Ferox there. So if you were going to swing one way or the other, which would it be and why?
If I had to put money, I mean, on average, Ferox Industries times online are actually better than Restless. But if you think who's on the team of Restless, I mean, Winky Face already pops to mind. Man is always been a fun to watch. Maybe not he enjoys my commentary, because of course last time had a bit of an unfortunate event. We were both to witness it as well. But I will say, it's pretty much depends on what kind of Winky Face we have today. If he shows up today, then Ferox Industries basically sort of have to play catch up, and then Red Bolt can do the cleanup afterwards. So I mean, so basically it's again Planetary Goose and Svet, good, more consistent on average, but pace-wise, it's where Winky Face will be the one to dominate. So I'll give it to Restless because I like Winky.
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice to see that APAC is starting to develop that. There is a team that we would just call consistent here now as well in Ferox Industries, and I do want to back that, but at the same time, you can't shy away from the fact that the peak performance is so much more entertaining, and I've got to go with it as well. I'm heading across the pond. It's gonna be against Ferox here. I'm settling on Restless as well for this one, so we'll have to see in game, of course, whether that comes around. Looking across at the other teams, I think DXA bringing back Asia to our final day events as well was inevitable, with Kimmy and Pixels lining up. They are so strong, but we are getting to a ban phase now, so let's get into game and see who is going with what.
Yeah, indeed. So interesting to see how things will go. We see already Control and Off-Road banned as well. And let me take a look here if there's anything to go by. Of course, I have the website that has at least sort of an overview of their times as well. And we see, of course, that currently, if I believe so, yeah, Restless is a higher seed in this one as well. So they get the pick as well, and they picked Airwalk to start off. And then there is Grip and Sinuous. It is a best of 7, so we get 4 maps guaranteed. And those will be the 4 maps for now. Interesting to see, yeah. So let me see. So let's take a look here. Restless picked Airwalk and Sinuous. Looking at their times at least, I mean, they don't really have much to. I would have expected Pool to be in this as well, but it seems that Restless are maybe not eager to go for it, because on average they are quite fast on it, and you had the likes of Control as well, but you can see why it has been banned by Verox Industries. Clearly, they don't want to take Winky and Red Bolt on it.
Yeah. Best of 7s all of today, as well as day 2s always are, so we will be seeing the majority of maps, at least as options. If it's not a sweep, we will see them all played out as well. So I think when it comes down to these best of 7s in these closer matchups, the 7th map, that randomized one, can really be a big impact on the series. Obviously it has to be. It's going to be the last map if that's the case, but it usually swings one way wildly.
Yep, that is indeed so as well. I do see some fun stuff being said as well in in-game chat as well, like Red Bolt saying that Maka's Wi-Fi only has 20 minutes left, so we need to be quick. So they're looking to close this out rather quick as well. So, you know, making sure that everything's good as well. And I mean, if there's also the fact that if Ferox win this match, they also take like DXA Singapore for the 4th slot. But if they get eliminated, I mean, MM is always the decider. So, like I said already when we were introducing the match, there's still a lot of things that can change the outcome of who goes to the World Championship wildcard. But I mean, everybody to play for, and you gotta make it count, you know. And this is the first time, of course, I see Winky Face's skin as well. Yeah, somebody has been cooking in the skin editor, let's say that much.
I think, you know, as much as going over to the worldwide competition is always the main focus, particularly here in APAC, there's so much competition within the region. These guys are playing for pride as well. Everybody here wants to be the best in a developing region, and here we go again. It's going to be Red Bolt and Winky Face trying to play for the title of that fastest developing team in the region, up against Ferox there, Planetary Goose and Sved.
Yeah, and I will say that, like, especially for Sved and Planetary Goose, this has been mentioned several times. The fact that they have one of the best duos as sort of their coaches as well, Melio and Matus, in their EU lineup as well. I mean, that gives such a interesting boost as well for them. But here we go. We have the first semi-final of the APAC Regional number 3 on our hands. Of course, as mentioned, Restless and Verox Industries are the teams to fight it out for that grand final spot. And let's see how we do. We have a nice perspective of Sved at the moment. And it is Airwalk to start us off as well. I mean, it is an enjoyable map, but we've always seen that the end, you know, it can be quite treacherous to begin with. You know, people go for it, and then people go for the Troll Despair respawn every time.
We'll quite quickly see if our prediction of, you know, Ferox being the standardized kind of pick here, just based on their consistency comes out true. But it's definitely looking good right now for Restless. If we were looking for Red Bolt to be keeping pace, he is third right now. Let me just fix our in-game audio, and you guys will be able to hear that as well.
Yeah, we'll have to await and see for that one indeed. But for now, at least it is a draw to start us off. So, you know, nothing really much in that regard. So we don't have to really worry, at least for that round. But Winky Face and Planetary Goose did have a close one. It is only 74 thousandths of a second really separating the two. So overall, I mean, it's looking rather good for the two. Whether it will continue that way is another case. I mean, it is interesting to see that, like, on average, Airwalk at least, Verox Industries are the one that is the fastest, but it is Restless who picked it. So I don't know. Maybe there's a plan to it. The madness to this as well. I don't know if you have anything to say about that. But then again, if you take a map like that, that would be quite beneficial, I would say.
It would indeed. Let me just make a couple of fixes here, and we'll get right back into game. I do apologize for the lagginess of the game right now, having some tech issues, but we should be cleaning that up as things go along. Right now, though, cleaning up is Winky Face. Look how far out ahead he is, but Airwalk, always treacherous on this finish here, but if anybody's going to be able to make a good clean finish, it would be Winky. In fact, Red Bolt following him up well there as well, but Sved just barely sniping that out. Actually, nothing between Red Bolt and Sved.
Yep, and that is quite literally a 10th away from Winky's PB as well. So that is a good time as well by him as well. 55 in rounds is a good time indeed, at least given the context of APAC and overall as well. Like, very good times at the moment. Winky Face definitely is starting to come into play, and Restless going into the lead as well. 3-2, I mean, looking comfortable at the moment. Overall, I would say nothing has really gone wrong for either team. They're driving clean. It's just a bit of a slight difference in pace, and that shows that 1 point gap as well. So, you know, looking good, and we'll see if that continues throughout the entire match. Airwalk at least seems to be a comfort for both teams at the moment.
Here we go again as Red Bolt way at the back this time around. This was the worry for Restless, but he's still keeping pace. Sved now maybe able to lose that position as well. Going through the Airwalk itself. This is going to be crucial, and time gained by Red Bolt as well. Might just be able to snipe it from Sved. And it looks like Winky Face falling to the back here as a big error comes through. Will mean a victory for Ferox, evening this up 4-4.
Yeah, it's now we're going back and forth at the moment. Of course, round 4 with 4-4. I mean, it's looking to be one of those matches where one little mistake is gonna cost you a significant amount of points. I mean, you can see that Verox Industries are gonna be consistent on this, and Winky Face got the pace. But, of course, yeah, consistency, and then Planetary Goose clipped the corner. Sure, thanks. Thank you, Goose. Much appreciated there. But, you know, it gives Restless a chance. You know, if Red Bolt can get this, an ace would be quite nice.
Good indeed. Red Bolt following up here does have the chance for an ace for Restless right now. But Sved is holding strong in that second. The chance is there for a move, and it's made by Red Bolt. Winky Face and Red Bolt looking down the barrel of an ace right now. Ferox has to get this back, but Sved looks like he's still losing a bit of time here as it comes through. Restless just have to make the last jump. It looks clean, and oh my goodness, no! An error made by Winky Face will deny them the ace here as Sved comes through in second. Planetary Goose, in fact, making it through as well in time to keep this a draw. Winky Face going right to the back.
Indeed, that is the case, and yeah, again, Winky Face. I mean, we said it before. He is, I will say, on average, I would say he's one of the fastest on the server. But you know, sometimes you have those players who the only thing they know is risk, and 2 rounds in a row is where it's not gone as well as he would have wanted to. We can see that Red Bolt already knew that he was gonna hit that corner, prematurely released, but. That's not going to do you much good there. So Sved also falling a bit behind. So it is Winky and Planetary Goose who are up in front. And again, I mean, Winky just, you know, by everybody, and he's almost a second ahead.
Red Bolt falling well behind off an early mistake there as well, but you gotta say, like you said, it's comfortable for Winky Face here. There should be a pretty much guaranteed finish here for the draw, but Winky has had some errors on this ending. Does he make it through cleanly? Yes, he does. And at the very least, a draw is secured here. Red Bolt coming through just behind Planetary Goose, almost able to make that a victory as well. A bit of a catch-up there. But, yeah, definitely a draw coming through. And these two teams as neck and neck as we were hoping.
Yep, they are having a good time indeed. And 6-6, nothing to really separate them. But we do have to keep in mind that they are... Oh, Red Bolt clips the inside corner. Now it is up to Winky Face to come into play here. Sved and Planetary Goose are the ones to make it... well, if they get an ace out of this one, that would be the most best time to do so. I mean, you're 6-6, you get an ace, and all of a sudden it is going to be 6-9. Which was nice, of course, but again, Winky Face is the one that they have to deny, and I think this is going to be the main theme of today. It's either Winky Face is first, or, you know, they get a drop.
Sved might be able to just edge this out here, though. That drop could be made if Winky Face just continues to take leads here. It's really just been the consistency of the identity here, but he does get it through this time again, but looking like yet another draw here. This is still anybody's, and as the draws come through, we get closer and closer to a single victory, meaning the big difference here.
Yep, that is indeed so, but now they're both on track point.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's basically a case where who's gonna go for it first? Is it Restless, Ferox Industries, or we're just gonna do draws? You know, draws, we just do the draws. Like yesterday, Challenger League had an insane pool round and it went to 15-18. Are we gonna get something similar to APAC? But now Winky Face is the one in 4th position. That's gonna be a rough one. And hopefully that's going to be the one that does go well for Winky. He really does need to do some catch-up at the moment, because Sved, everybody's really gone in front at the moment. Can they actually really pull this one off? Here we go. Well, Planetary Goose usually has been quite consistent in the end. Red Bolt, and everybody's going for it. Oh, Winky Face is trying really hard here, but that is not going to make it. Red Bolt is the one to deny here, but he misses the finish. And Sved is... Well, everybody's respawning, but if Sved finishes this one, it's done. There it is. Ace on the board. 7-10, and they have done it.
7-10. That's it. A big win with an ace to finish after an incredibly close series here. Ferox is pulling out ahead.
Yep, that is indeed so as well. Hopefully, at least I have the chat open as well. And seeing as well, and it seems that I don't have the stream open, but yeah, maybe there's some maybe it seems that people are getting sort of a not the most best kind of FPS at the moment, but I don't know about that one.
We will be trying to address that, but moving on for now, there's not much we can do at this exact moment, so wait for us to finish this series up and stick with us. Stuff is happening in the background, trust me.
Oh yeah, and also it seems that apparently your open planet bar at the top is showing, so F3.
Oh, it is too.
It will disappear. There you go. And it seems that you're gonna get a bit of respite anyway, because it seems that Red Bolt has suddenly disappeared off the server anyway, so, you know.
Yeah, right. So it's not just our end having issues. Good to see.
Yep. So everybody gets to do a bit of waiting, it seems.
Here we go.
Oh, he's actually suddenly back? Oh, wow. Damn, that was a quick one. I thought he just arrives when the match starts. Quick load in. Perfect timing.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing here. It's all good in the hood. Right now, Ferox, though, leading, and it's definitely good for them. Sved might have a position taken here. A bit of a nasty transition from Winky Face there. Will hold him back, but not by much. And actually making that back through the dirt section now. Planetary Goose still leading up. Ferox is very consistent, and on a map like this can be lethal.
Yep, indeed it is the case, and it's a reason why they picked this. It is one of their better maps as well, apart from Vortex. And that's the Red Bolt falling off. So again, giving away points, it is a victory for Verax Industries. And they do what they need to be doing, which is winning, and they're doing it quite well. I mean, they already, like I said, the airwalk picked by Restless was a bit of a questionable one. So it means
Yeah.
that now they're putting themselves against the wall, because I would say that 9 out of 10 times Ferox Industries are going to take this grip map. So either they have a master plan here at the works, hopefully they don't have the Ferrari team to do their strategy, but we'll see how that one goes. But we'll have to give it a wait. But for now, at least, well, they can still do it, but it's going to be a tough battle on grip.
Here we go again, Planetary Goose coming through with a really nice line high through the dirt there to maintain pace through here. Cutting very tight lines, actually, at that. Winky Face right behind, Red Bolt trying to chase up here and make some time, and will do so. Planetary Goose at risk of losing a position here as they come through the final corner. Winky Face is right on his tail, as is Red Bolt, and there is nothing in this. They cut a final line, and they might have just got him. It's Planetary Goose by 7 milliseconds in this match.
Yep, basically a 10 separating everybody, and the top 3 separated by pretty much 100th at best. So what a good round, at least. You know, it's still a draw. That's basically what it's gonna boil down to. But we'll have to see how things will go. But I mean, that's you know, you were so close to getting some good points here, but yeah, man, that's the one where you really would have loved to have an ace. But you know, now Ferox Industries are back where they belong, first and second, and Restless gotta have a good one here to really do something. Sved has a bit of an awkward dirt. Planetary Goose slows down, and Caster, you are talking the wrong topic. It's the other way around all of a sudden.
Restless suddenly make a big move from both players here. Winky Face and Red Bolt actually fighting for their own first positions. Red Bolt goes wide. Dangerous line. Has to correct it. Will lose a bit of pace here. Sved, right on top of Winky Face. Just pulls through in another very, very close affair here. 19 milliseconds. This time in it will just more than double the gap of last time, but it will be pulled through for another draw.
Yep, that is another ace loss to Restless. They could have gotten 2 by now, but they're still behind 4-3. So you know, you try to go for the stars, and then you end up falling down because it's quite high. And apparently one of the Ferox Industries guys is in front and still denying them to this day. So I mean, it's been so close every time. But it's just one member of Ferox Industries just manages to hold on and secure a draw. And but you know, how long can you do this until, you know, one of the members doesn't have that good round? And with Restless again on the tail of Planetary Goose, it feels like only a matter of time at this point.
Red Bolt and Winky Face both once again on top of Planetary Goose here, but this is just consistency. Like we talked about from Ferox, they're able to continue pulling it through, and at that point, it just means that's all they have to continue doing. They are 1 point ahead, and they can make all 10 points up with continued draws from here on out if they need to.
Yeah, it's a fun strategy. I mean, you take 1 point lead, you know, and that is you're gonna just ride it all the way down. That's a certified, if you know Trolla from NCSA, that's well, the old Trolla, that was a certified strategy. They literally had Lingo just do first place every single time, and at one point then Buckley just got 1 round going, and that's how they did it. You know, if it works, why not do it? But you know, I don't think really teams are aiming for that, and I don't think Planetary Goose is aiming to be 4th at the moment. So all up for Sweat to hold up the Restless team at the moment, because they're gonna go into the identity. And I mean, it's Sved is the one that has been really falling off, and so he has to really produce something. Red Bolt, Winky Face, can they actually do it, or is it gonna be a
goodbye
Sved fall off? There we go, ace on the board, Restless go in the lead, and it is 7-5.
Yeah, that's a certification for sure. You can take that one to the bank, and Restless will with an ace. 7-5, putting themselves on match point, and Ferox can no longer rely on draws.
Yep, that is how comfortable it is. But now they are on track point, and it sort of puts the taste of airwalk in a bittersweet if they do take this grip. It sort of thinks that, oh, maybe they could have gone for something different, but you know, ifs and buts, and it's possible that Restless are gonna take grip, which should be, quite honestly, a more of a Verox Industries map rather than Restless. So clearly, maybe some practice has been done, you know, maybe they're keeping an eye on those times as well, and you know, previous experience could be worth a lot of wonders here, but Red Bull's hop and skip is gonna put Winky Face in a bit of a predicament.
Yeah, Red Bolt falling back here. Sved still chasing up though. A victory for Ferox won't yet net them a lead unless they can make an ace here. That would be very, very nice for them. And it looks like they just might have. Winky Face has fallen just behind, and the ace putting Ferox back in the lead by the barest margins is going to make this dangerous yet again for Restless. After a risky pick on map number 1 by Restless, Ferox taking it from them. There was a chance for Restless to take it back on Ferox's pick, and they might have just lost that chance. Both teams able to take it from here very easily.
Yep, it is one of those where it's a classic. You get an ace, you feel comfortable, and it is going to be a counter race, you know. But it is Planetary Goose who has an early mistake, so are we gonna get a back-to-back-to-back ace? Oh, that could be a nice one. Exquisite, not something you see quite often, but it is against Sved who has to do it, and I feel like it's one of those moments. Last time, Red Bolt and a skip again, so...
Yep.
You know,
that is very good for Sved, though, because Sved has not had the chance to really lead this race, and right now, he just has to hold. There's an okay gap here. Winky Face is right behind, but not much map left to do it in, and Sved will hold him off. A victory once again for Ferox, and they're 1 point away now.
Yep, looking quite comfortable for Verox.
Actually, no.
Currently, the consistency is outdoing pace at the moment.
Not 1 point away, sorry, that wasn't a draw, that is it. 10-8, Ferox getting on top here. A track win in their own pick, as expected, but they did risk it.
They tried their best, but I mean, they have to really get it going now. It is sinuous, and for once, it is a pick that actually should be favoring Restless, because the last two were, at least on average, for Verox Industries. But Sinuous, at least for Restless, they are looking rather good on it. So, you know, this is one of the first picks you would say that I would be giving it more comfortably to Restless. But I would say, like, given Verox Industries, I would say that they would be very prepared for all of these picks. So, hard to say where this will go. Whether they will be happy with Ice as well is another story. But for now, it is up to Restless. They cannot let this go too far, because if they give this one away, they have to do a reverse sweep.
And another apologies to stream, as apparently my PC faces down some monumental issues just through the beginning of this map. It should clean itself up now. But going back in again, this is an early round lead by Winky Face, but quite the trail by Red Bolt. And as we know with this map, if you can't get it by right about here, you might have trouble. There's a huge overtake from Winky Face, though. Can he hold it? Planetary Goose just out in front, as is Sved now. Ace opportunity for Ferox. Can they hold it? Winky Face again. Neck in neck here. Winky Face makes the move. Just the sinuous finish to go, and Winky Face does hold it for an ace.
That is a very nice one. I mean, Winky Face clearly flexing those guns there, making sure that first place is secured. And now the rest is up to Red Bull, basically. So, you know, the strategy is in motion, and let's see how it pans out, you know. But for now, very good round as well. Winky Face, really good entry into the identity, really sets him up for all of the speed in the world, and you saw what big of a difference it made. Now, can he actually do it the next few rounds in a row? Well, if they want to go for the strategy, they really need to go for like 8 rounds of draws and then 1 victory. So he has to really pull this one off for quite a long period of time.
Right, behind now, Ferox chasing up, and a good entry through into the ice is pace maintained by Planetary Goose. A great move here. Still being chased up by Restless, and an ace looks possible again. A draw looks possible again here, as Planetary Goose does lead it straight up the finish. A big error by Red Bolt and a victory found by Ferox.
It's a bit too ambitious on the inside there. I was actually spectating him as well. He had a really awkward entry into the identity, and that looked immediate death as soon as he went for that line. So it was sort of moments before disaster, if you want to name it as well. So, you know, you take that identity, usually give it, but when it taketh, oh boy, it does take everything.
And now, another early fight between these teams with Winky Face out in front, Restless. They really do need that lead held here, one behind, and once again back on their own map pick. If Ferox take this here, I feel like they have asserted themselves as the faster team here on average, and it's definitely that consistency factor is there, but I've got to say, they have been really putting up the pace on themselves as well. It's not only consistency. Right now, though, Restless with a very good chance to change our opinion on that.
That is indeed so. I mean, Restless, I mean, they have to make something work. If they cannot take a map pick like this, and Red Bolt is not making it any much easier in this case. Having a bit of struggle at the moment, not feeling as confident in the end. It feels like his entries have been quite wobbly. Well, to put it into very technical terms, wobbly. But it's. I mean, Winky Face is there, but Red Bolt now 2 times in a row has, to me, in honestly, failed one of the easiest identities in the game.
Yeah, that's what I was going to point out. This identity is one that we normally do see as a consistent one. So to be seeing this failed not once but twice back to back here by any players at this level, we are in day 2, remember? That's quite a surprise to me.
Yeah, but of course, I mean, given the team dynamic, of course, Winky, you can clearly see the difference that Winky Face is the pacemaker and Red Bolt is there to be support. Winky Face currently making his pace worth with the wall, and it seems that Sved is so far behind that even with that mistake there, it should be ending in a draw as everybody's keeping social distance at the moment, allowing everybody. Yeah, Planetary Goose. That is not how you're supposed to do that identity. I mean, when you have such gaps, do you really need to, you know...
Yeah, there was no risk there.
Go for it?
It's hard to keep a track on that while you're racing, though. You want to take the best lines possible. You don't want to be glancing up to check that, and I do see how you can make the error. Like you said, though, it was social distancing there. They were keeping very, very safe pacing between the players there. We couldn't even get them all on camera at once, so interesting to see that come out with an error.
Yeah, it's hard to say, of course. I mean, I as a player who play hot on, I can't really say much. I enjoy having all the information constantly, so I see where everybody is. Do I need to push every single track segment? I see like where everybody is, what everybody's doing. Do I need to go faster, slower? Planetary Goose needs to go back to ice training, and Red Bolt and Winky Face are the ones chasing down Sved, and he needs to get it clean. Otherwise, if he allows more points, then Restless could be running away with this. But everybody's going for it. But Winky Face does it. Overtakes him in the end.
Yeah, Winky Face, while this was really close, the pacing didn't really change there. Even at that tiny, tiny gap, Winky Face just held the nose ahead the entire time, and Sved not able to make the overtake. And finally, Restless are looking like there was that confidence that we talked about in this map pick. It is a map that should benefit Restless, and they are coming up as a result of that.
Well, I mean, they have everything to do at the moment. I mean, they do need a victory. You know, it doesn't seem like much, but we've seen all kinds of things happen, and so any lead at the moment is quite hazardous. So you have an 8-5, looks comfortable, but as soon as Ferox Industries, you know, snatch an ace, then all of a sudden it doesn't look as comfortable. But Sved is doing everything in his power to make sure that Restless have an easier time getting to that victory, and then Planetary Goose has nothing of it. So we'll see if Red Bolt and Winky Face can get a good end, and but that's clean ice right there.
Yeah, just a couple of excellent corners by Red Bolt there as well. Through the hairpin earlier, got him massive amounts of time, and it is Red Bolt and Winky Face acing to finish the map here in a really, really nice fashion.
Well, it seems that all of a sudden it is Wokic for Restless. No time for them to rest, so they have a lot of work to do now after those first two maps. And as we move on to Vortex, again, well, now this should be. I don't want to be that guy, but it should be basically Verox Industries' forte on this one. On average, it is gonna be even tougher than, for example, some of the previous, or even tougher than Grip, I would say. So we'll see how things go. I'm open to surprises. Let's say it like that.
Yeah, if Ferox can keep the series at pace, though, we would see only 5 games out of this, 5 maps out of this. Restless, they really need to put a back-to-back here if they have a hope of taking the entire series, and I do think that they can do that on this map. I've seen some crazy times out of Winky Face on this particular one, but it's about Red Bolt keeping up. I've also seen some major errors from him on this map. I expect probably a lot more time has been put into it since.
But you can already see that the early signs are showing for Ferox Industries. Planetary Goose doesn't have the best entry into the bobsleigh, so does lose out on a bit of time. But currently at the moment, I mean, I said it should be, of course, Ferox Industries' forte here, but currently everybody's sort of in the mix, and we gotta go for the classic one-liner. It's gonna be decided in the identity, so let's see who's gonna be willing to push it. The entry into the identity is probably the most crucial. You want to have that extra speed, but you know, I mean, come on, everybody gets it clean. What is this? Consistent rounds? It's a draw, but nothing's really gonna do in the end. I mean, once the places are locked, unless somebody really messes up a grass wall ride in the end there, I mean, then it should stick to the same position. So
Consistent
a draw to start
rounds.
us off.
Don't you dare curse us here in APAC. We love our chaos.
I mean, they had a clean Vortex round. I mean, it was a great race. What am I supposed to say?
That is true.
I can't do much about it. I haven't really got into caster cursing yet.
Yeah,
so
true. I'll let you save the magic until later. The caster curse has been strong with you in the past here. Let's see if it comes out in round 2. Do we see the same kind of cleanliness that was extremely well cut by everybody on field in that last portion? Do we see it again coming through the first pipe section? Does look like fairly clean race, at least from the front 3. Sved falling well behind at this point.
That is indeed so. For now, at least, it seems that the Restless are gonna go for it. Of course, Planetary Goose does have more speed than Winky Face, and this is the only difference you can really make on this identity, the entry into it. And you can see Planetary Goose much better and does overtake Winky Face, so we go for a classic, a draw for the round as well. And that will be how the cookie crumbles on this one. I mean, they are doing 105 slow, of course. The PBs are, or at least for Ferox Industries, are 104 flat and a 104.1. So they definitely have another second to spare here. So, you know, if that is the pace that they can do possibly, then it does put a bit of you know, a question mark on when will that be coming out. But for now, at least, they're keeping it cool, calm, and collected, and their gentleman agreement for now draws on the board.
It does seem to be coming out the way that we predicted here as well, with Winky Face really the big obstacle to overcome for these draws from Ferox, who are very, very consistent on it. It comes down to Red Bolt being able to make it up, and right now it does look like he's able to, holding a bit of a lead here. Planetary Goose might overtake. It's very close on the line though. Red Bolt gets spat out to the left and now has to make up a bit just to keep this a draw, as Sved makes a move here as well. Red Bolt is at risk. Planetary Goose now still holding a lead. Sved falling just that little bit behind Red Bolt, and it will be a victory at this rate for Ferox. Does Red Bolt make the last turn? No, it's held true to formation.
But it is a 104, but it is a Ferox Industries victory. I mean, Red Bolt actually had a good round as well. So, I mean, all things considered, that was quite lovely for him as well. It's usually Winky Face that is up in front, but if Red Bolt can, you know, keep it, you know, interesting in the end, I mean, it seems that Ferox Industries, yes, they have quite exceptional times here, but it seems that maybe it's not, you know, the time that they are able to do in rounds as well. So you clearly can see that there is a second off of their PB, so it seems that there's the potential. But in rounds, they're more willing to, as everybody, go
Oh,
for a bit of
Sved.
safer line. Sved hogging the hole, and Red Bolt hogging the wall quite intensely. So everybody is having a bit of a cute moment here. But Winky Face and
Red
Planetary
Bolt.
Goose,
Oh.
well, they're the ones to decide it.
Red Bolt makes a big error now, 5.5 seconds behind. It is down to just Planetary Goose and Winky Face. At this point, Sved also falling back. Planetary Goose out in front, and Ferox looking for another victory here. Only the identity left to create a solution to this problem for Restless, but it looks like Planetary Goose is going to nail it again. The consistency is still there, at least for Planetary Goose. Winky Face not far behind.
Yeah, but Red Bolt has been able to overtake
wow.
Sved as well, so
Big
it
error.
is going to be your classic draw as well. Nothing really much to that as well, but we're going at a slow and steady pace, 4-5 for now, and we move on to the next round. Well, it seems that Ferox Industries not having the most easiest time securing this one. One of Sved has been having a few hiccups then and there, and that has put Planetary Goose to be the one to just take first position, but hey, it works. It's one of those strategies again.
Whoa.
And 4-5, they're in the lead. And
Winky nearly didn't make that at all.
Yep,
very,
that's
very
a quarter
close.
pipe moment.
Red Bolt right behind Planetary Goose and Sved right now, but it is looking AC at the moment. Out in front. Do we see another mistake here? We started very, very cleanly with some major consistency. It looks like Red Bolt is going to make a move on Sved here, but it's taken back in no time at all. Ferox looking good for this one. Red Bolt has to make a quick correction not to come off the pipe there. And Winky Face still well up the back. Planetary Goose leading by some margin at this point.
It's looking quite nice now. Now, this is the round where this is what you should have been expecting every single round, or at least some elements of this as well. And you can clearly see that now Ferox Industries are feeling it as well. Both getting a pretty decent time, all things considered. They take the ace 4-8 as well. And now Restless, they really need to get some of those aces on their own, which hasn't really looked the case, because the usual standard is that one of the members of Ferox Industries is up front to deny them, but we do see that Planetary Goose has a bit of an awkward start and gives Restless at least, a chance and an opportunity.
Yeah. It's still coming out the way I thought it would. Red Bolt really, in that last one coming up third, held kind of the positioning and pace that I expect out of Red Bolt, at least on this map. There are some maps that Red Bolt gets some extremely good pace on, but it's Winky Face that really has to come through here on Restless, and as soon as there was that error made, it was almost spelt disaster. Ferox now in at an 8-4. They are looking good, and a good hold here from Sved will get them 1 point closer, but Winky Face might have an answer here. Right on top of Sved, it is a good line, but does it hold the pace? No. Sved back in the lead. It is neck and neck between Sved and Winky Face. Through the identity is going to make a big difference here, but it looks like Sved has held it well, and it is Ferox with the consistency out in front again to hold that draw.
They just won't let it go. They do not want to have anything to do with some close matches, close affairs. Ain't nobody got time for that. We want to get this one done, go to 3-1, and then put Restless in a position where they have to literally, well, I say reverse sweep, but they have to sort of come back from a 3-1 deficit. And Planetary Goose, I mean, he's giving them the opportunities, at least. Again, a bit of a slower start. So, I mean, it's, Restless should be, taking the opportunity when it's presented to them. Because technically, well, both of these players are good on this map. But the Planetary Goose has the better PB on this one. So, you take it with a bit of opportunity.
Whoa.
But if Restless get an ace, it will get a bit interesting, though.
Winky Face taking an incredibly tight line through there and doesn't quite get the next section as cleanly as a result, and just doesn't have the pace to hold off Sved right now, who is now making his way into the lead. Winky Face back again, gets a good corner to hold off, and a nice one through there as well. More pace on Sved, but the positional advantage for Winky Face, is it good enough to hold off right to the end? There is still time being made by Sved. Sved makes it through, and Ferox coming up first. It will be another Ferox map. 3-2-1.
I mean, that was actually a good round as well. I believe that was one of the fastest times of the series as well, at least on this map. 0.775 and 0.8 as well by Winky. I mean, really good rounds. It's a GG for Ferox Industries, but it is now a case where, well, Restless, they need now 3 track points in a row to make it to the grand final. And I do believe there was one interesting thing as well. I think one of the members, Spark in chat, mentioned as well that Ferox Industries have constantly made semifinals on every regional, but they've never won it. So will it be the first time they actually do it? So, but now we're gonna go on to breaking, which let's say both of these teams are equal on this map, but breaking can produce some of the most, let's say, interesting rounds.
Yeah.
To put it lightly.
And Ferox are only one map away from breaking. It's breaking their own record here in placement, trying to get through to that grand final, which will be match number 3 on stream today. Ferox have been upping their pace while still holding the consistency we expect out of them. So I do think that this is doable for Ferox to go all the way here if they really push themselves.
Yeah, it's very hard to really put them on this map. Like, I feel like it's just whoever has a, better start. I would say again, if you had to choose something on this map, I would say consistency really helps.
Yeah,
So again, you would favor Ferox Industries in this case, and with Red Bolt having a bit of a tougher start as well, it does put Winky Face up on the pedestal. But again, if Winky Face can hold on for the foreseeable future, then of course Red Bolt can come into play. But now it is sort of, do or die for Restless. Do it now or be out of the tournament.
I don't think Red Bolt is going to be able to have a say here in the first round, though, as he falls well to the back on an early error. Planetary Goose is holding strong. Winky Face might be able to make this a draw, though, if he makes a good move here through the identity. As we start that now, Sved has fallen back. Might be able to make a little time here, but Winky Face has definitely not been able to bring out the draw. A victory found by Ferox as Red Bolt really taking his time on this one. I do agree. I think that it is definitely a map that benefits the consistency. And that's just not there for Restless right now, and that lies on Red Bolt, and that's why we see that all the way in round 1. But this was, if I'm not wrong, a Restless map pick, wasn't it?
That is indeed so. They were the ones to pick it. So clearly it shows that there's a reason to the madness,
Yeah.
And they picked it for a reason. But then again, when you compare a lot of the tracks with Ferox Industries, unless they have some inside information here, of course, they had the chance to go for the likes of Pool, even Frosty early on as well. Some of the maps on average where they are faster than Ferox Industries, but there's none of that in the first 4 or 5 maps, and Sved getting wedged right before the checkpoint. So, I mean, opportunity as long as Winky Face can overtake Planetary Goose.
And there is always the chance that Winky Face's pace is always so good at peak. He might have just done it here through into this final section. He has had a lot more braking than Planetary Goose, though, looking for more consistency than the pace. Might have just cost them here, and a draw will be found as Red Bolt comes through in third, and this time it's Sved with the consistency error. And while consistency is going to be the pick on this map, it is a map that can create a lot of issues. So even seeing that out of Sved, not that surprising on a map this tough.
I mean, Planetary Goose is execution exquisite at the moment.
Yeah.
Nothing to really take away from him as well. Winky Face has given it everything he's got, but currently, I mean, Planetary Goose is just making that identity his own. And but that wall there, definitely giving it a nice kiss of victory, at least at this point, but maybe a bit too early, as Restless are the ones taking a helm of this round, and an actually quite substantial gap, but this map can really close that distance in an instant, so we'll have to see if that continues throughout the entire map. But Sved gets the checkpoint, gets the 360, and well, gets it, I guess, still lands it, but Winky Face is also the one in trouble, so yeah, Red Bolt sort of alone up front.
Yeah, Red Bolt should have this no problems, can take this easy. You wonder if he does have that HUD on like you run, Creedy, because should benefit him here. Red Bolt will be making it cleanly, chased up by Planetary Goose, and we're still seeing these two at the front. It's very clear who benefits most in this map, and Red Bolt was hoping it would be him probably, looking... By that, Winky Face has been out the front most of the time, though, and I thought maybe the map pick was for Winky Face's advantage, but maybe that's just where the time has gone for Red Bolt.
Yeah, it's been for Restless. It's been one of those days where it just hasn't matched up. You know, well,
Yeah.
when Red Bolt does well, then Winky Face hasn't had a good round. Whenever Winky Face has a good round, then Red Bolt is the one that hasn't had a good one. And we see Red Bolt is slightly out of it, so it is now again Winky Face sort of has to get a draw out of this one. So it's sort of been, I would say it's been a bit unfortunate for Restless. You know, it just hasn't synced together. For those rounds that have mattered. But, you gotta make do with what you have. So Winky Face has to do your classic first place and get a draw out of this, or hope that Red Bolt is not in the mud, even further deep into it. So Red just has to go for it now, get first position.
Winky Face still out in front. Oh, big error from Sved. Means a slight chance for Red Bolt there, possibly, but it does look like it hasn't cost Sved too much to risk that. Planetary Goose coming in behind Winky Face, though, means yet another draw. And we said this earlier on in a similar performance on a map that Ferox Industries, because of their consistency, they're quite comfortable to hold a 1 lead here because they will draw it out right to the end if they have to. Just keep making those draws until they hit point number 10.
Yeah, and they're going to be soon on match point, so I mean, perfect. That's exactly what you want. You flip through the pages as well and go like, yep, that's perfect. And with Winky Face and Winky Face completely out of it, at least on the start, it is Red Bolt. It's the corner. He's fragile as well. That's going to really ruin him there. He has really bad turning radius now as well, so this is gone from bad to the worst case scenario for Restless.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Ferox are pretty well guaranteed here to just go straight to a very confident match point here. And Restless will be extremely worried on their second map pick that could be taken from them here. And to be honest, after this one, likely will.
Yep, and all of those people 80% of people that put their points on Restless, I'm glad we managed to sway you in a way where you're gonna lose all of your channel points.
Yeah,
Great
toxic.
job, everybody.
Easy.
hey, those people who went for the odds are gonna get a 1 out of 5 payment. Some people are gonna have a good day. So it's I might sound a bit toxic, but hey, somebody's gonna have a good day today. So,
we're just happy they're backing us. They backed us. We made the pick on Restless as well. To be fair, I feel like I did say the likelihood here was Ferox, but that my pick was Restless for the entertainment. Restless are so entertaining. I mean, Winky Face has some unbelievable pace on him when he is on it, but he just hasn't been enough this time around. Like you said, every time he's not, it's Red Bolt who does manage to pick it up, but it's never at the same time. They're not getting... I think they've had 2 aces the entire series so far, something like that. And it's just not coming out in their favor. Restless able to take 1 map, but Ferox, they are on match point, and it looks like they may have done it as long as Sved can hold 3rd place here. Planetary Goose out in front. Red Bolt is in contest, but going now into this final section, and could be the final time we see it as well. The identity being lethal right this second to Restless, as it does come through with the victory and the match secured for Ferox.
That is a very good performance. I will say, overall, Ferox Industries made it look rather convincing. I mean, there was that one map, of course, that Restless took, which was sinuous. But, I mean, overall, I would say that is a pretty convincing way to do it. I mean, there's nothing much you can say about that. They're in the grand final. Restless, well, they did what they needed to do, but this is exactly what Ferox Industries needed to do. They overtake TXA Singapore for the 4th slot as well. At the moment in the for the global points as well. So, it's going well for them, but now they have to wait for the second match to come in and see what actually is going to happen. Because the next one, well, there's one team in that match that most likely is gonna go through, but you know, I'm open to suggestions for a different grand final.
You guys will also get your opportunity to vote for who's going to meet up in the grand final with Ferox there. It's going to be Trident Esports versus DXA Esports up next. I think that the consistency has been the right pick today. I mean, you see it come out very, very strongly with Ferox in this first match. But look, we're going to have to go for a quick break. If the stream does stop for a second, don't go anywhere. We are trying to fix the frame rate issues in the background for you guys. Another apology for that from my end. This is definitely a PC issue from me. So we will get that sorted during the break, and we will be back with you very shortly.
Hello everybody, we're back on your screens again. We've switched sides as well, and we should have the FPS issue solved as well. We did a quick, so we could say a PC switch, I guess, in that regard. So welcome back everybody. It should be resolved as well. Do let us know if any of the audio levels do need to adjusting. You know, you guys are always a nice tech support, and you guys always pull through. So if me or Gex is a bit louder or a bit lower, let me know. Quick adjustment and we're done. But we can now focus on the World Tour. That's what matters the most, Gex.
Now, half the guys in chat are streamers as well, so they know all the issues. But yeah, getting back into this, it was an awesome first round there, and we've got one team already through. It was a huge match between Restless and Ferox, but Ferox are really asserting themselves here. Their first time ever making it past the semifinals, and now we have our second semifinal matchup between Trident Esports and DXA Esports to take that second spot at the grand final.
Yep, and I mean, all things considered, it is basically going to be Trident Esports looking to make this as convincing as possible, and DXA looking to make this as hard as possible for Trident Esports. I mean, when Trident Esports have been now actually doing APAC, like properly putting all the time and effort into it, they've been absolutely insane and really a team to be feared as well. I mean, they have been putting in some of the most insane times, looking really good. No real faltering anywhere. They're just making it look convincing, to be honest. So what are we gonna do about it? I mean, DXA have to do it. They had a tough time beating their own counterparts in Singapore. So I don't know. It's you gotta really put some sugar coating on this match to make it look nice for DXA. I'm gonna be honest.
I don't know, because it does come down to whether DXA Singapore was just that good as well, because it could be that all the other matchups, the second team taking on the winner of that just didn't match up. It's not necessarily that there was an overwhelming victory because one of those two teams was so incredibly great. They just might have been that much incredibly better. Right now, DXA Esports are just trying to prove that their teammates in Singapore as well, the guys who didn't make it this far, are that good. DXA need to prove that all of DXA are at the level they could have been here right now, because that was a best of 5 that means best of 7, sorry, that means this position. And if they do come through showing that, they could definitely take this from Trident Esports. And you know what? I don't have that much doubt. Kimmy and Pixels have been incredible. So pairing them up, I actually think that this is going to be an excellent matchup.
Yeah, indeed it could be. It seems that the chat somewhat agree with you as well. There seems to be a lot of DXA fans in the crowds as well. And it seems, so you're not the only one that has the belief. I will say that all of you have substantial amounts of copium, but you know, I'm not the kind of guy to really say otherwise. You know, each to their own.
Just to fight you on that, I'm putting my prediction in chat. It's gonna be, it's going for DXA. It's happening.
Well, good luck with that one.
It's 6-10 in the amount of people voting. By the way, DXA down the 6.
Yeah, well, you know, hey, each to their own. I'm just saying. If anybody, you know, I'm not gonna mention it just yet. You can all vote. You know, have fun with that one. Otherwise, it seems that somebody did vote quite a substantial amount. A 9-5 gamer with 30k points on DXA. Well, at least he's giving out to the people. You know, he's the Robin Hood. You know, well, unfortunately, he's the reverse Robin Hood in the fact that he takes it from his own pocket and gives it to everybody else. You know,
give it to the people who are going to be the rich. Yes, gotcha.
So yeah, but you know, hey, if he wins it, you know, good odds, gets good points. Now that how much time do we have on it? No, there's still time for this. So I'm not gonna mention it. Still, people can still vote. But yeah, it's gonna be. Let's just say it's if DXA has any match to surprise us on, it's this one because in every aspect it does look Trident's way. But I've said it already before. I mean, I'm open to surprises. Technically, I was already thinking about Restless gonna be pretty good, but it seemed that just it didn't really work for them in that match. You know, we mentioned that just the rounds didn't link together well enough. So maybe it doesn't happen for Trident as well, and the XA can get some easy points. But on your screens, as you see, Trident Esports with Baywak and JSwag going up against Kimi and Pixels, the TXA main lineup. So now let's see how the cookie will crumble as we start on Control. A classic, my favorite. And I'm glad we start off this series here.
I know Amosi. I should back Neumad from the region as well. Divyansh, though, has paired up really well with him, a player from India there. And it's straight across to a full... one player from Hong Kong in Kimi and one from Turkey in Pixels. So interesting matchup of nations here as well. So I am definitely looking forward to seeing what they have to bring into this match. Each and every one of them has kind of a different skill set here, and it may come down to that consistency factor as it did in the last match as well.
Yeah, but in this case it will be the case where Trident Esports are one of those teams now where you have the lethal combination of pace and consistency, and you can already see the difference on the first map. I mean, Kimi and Pixels haven't done any mistake, but that is a certified 1 second gap already, and
yeah, that's crazy.
It's gonna. Could be a really big pattern for the entire series. and they get it clean, and that is 58.
Fantastic.
That's just clean execution. Nothing really to say about that.
That's crazy how clean that was. This map, the transitions are lethal on. It's so rare that we see even a single round where everybody makes it through the identity on it. That was, not only did they make it through, they just looked like it was easy.
Yep, that is 58s as well. That is what you're looking for in rounds time as well. I mean, we will try to give this the best spin we possibly can. But APAC and JSwag, they have been on a mission to make APAC their region. Like, would esports have MEA? Trident esports are gonna try and do the same with APAC, basically.
Yeah, I mean, Trident esports, they're probably going to take my points here. I knew that from the beginning, but look, let's back DXA here into a close matchup, because that's all we want to see on stream, right? You never want to not just go as far as you can with this. The more excitement we get out of this, the better. It's content for you guys, and look, it's content for us. We're not here for no reason. We love this as well.
Well, I do enjoy it. I mean, if anything, you know, sometimes, you know, yes, it could be a one-sided match, but then again, then you can enjoy this performance, both with the 58.7. They're just now pulling in times. Their PBs are 58.4s, both. JSwag, even to his name, has 58.420. So, you know, man has a swag in his name and a blazed time as well here. So, I mean, they are really flexing those guns here, boys with a .7. I mean, it's enjoyable to watch. I don't know if DXA's perspective is quite equally the same to us.
I mean, Trident Esports, they're already only 1 point away from being on map point here. It's just so much pace out the gates. And what's getting me isn't the fact that they're winning this. It's how early they're getting these leads. They only need 3 corners, and they're out ahead by an enormous margin. And this time around is no different. In fact, a 2-second gap to the nearest competitor, 5 to the one after that. And JSwag and Biwack have been swapping and changing lead here. They're just racing each other.
Yep, indeed so. And I already see Sweat in chat writing, what are these times? So a man is in the grand final and already biting his nails like, oh god, what have I gotten myself into?
Yeah, not quite the 58 this time around, but very, very close there. JSwag still cutting a 59.035. Biwack a little way behind, but both of them knew probably there that they had a lot of time to play safe with.
I mean, yeah, but then again, it's a 59, you know, with Trident Esports, if I was them, I would be disappointed. How slow can they go? 59? For one round? I mean,
terrible.
They did 58 before. Where is that now? Come on. We can do better than this, Trident Esports. But I mean, for now at least, I feel like this will be something that I said similarly to when I was doing a Challenger League as well. DXA basically have to match the Trident Esports on their own map picks. I feel like there's no other way they can really pull this one off. So the maps they picked, they have to be quite certain they can give a run for their money on Trident Esports, because it seems that they have picked maps that they're going to be comfortable and control. So far, there hasn't been really a contest. I mean, Kimi is half a second behind this time, which seems to be the closest DXA have been on this map. But Bayback and JSwag haven't made a single mistake in the identity.
Yeah.
And I can't even cast the Kirsten, so what am I can't even help DXA at this
They've beaten Creedy's caster curse, chat. Yeah. This is a miracle. This is the perfect team, apparently.
Yep, and it is a 58.45 as well. 0.1 off his PB. That's insane.
Absolutely insane. Full ace round, the sweep in the first map was their map choice, but you got to say that is looking very promising for all the other maps as well, particularly when that is not a consistent map. That is such a hard one, and yet they hit those transitions perfectly every single time in all rounds of that map. A crazy consistent run from Trident Esports, especially with the pace that they were putting on. Those times scaring everybody right now that are watching on. Like you said, Trident Esports trying to make this region theirs.
I mean, so far with that performance, that was probably the most convincing set of controls I've seen in a while. Like across all regions, you know, of course they probably knew that they didn't have to do much there, but they still threw those times as well. So it clearly shows confidence is there. They're more than willing to just go for it. They don't care. They're here to do some fun time. Seems that Kimi has already left the server. He's out. He's done. I'm out. 12-0. I can't be bothered with this. These guys are too fast for me. So we'll have to see if Kimi gets back on the server in just a moment. So we'll put it on a pause, and we will go to our point of view as we wait for that as well to come into play. Then I can keep an eye on the in-game chat, and nobody will see it as well while we're on our point of view. So we'll have to wait. But yeah, but it seems most likely it is related to Kimi's internet as well. I think he plays on a laptop as well. For if I'm correct, so he has a lot of things going for him to make sure that you know it doesn't go bust. So hopefully maybe some ice cubes on the computer, or you know a quick a fiber call up on the line as well. You get that internet going. But
do not listen to Creedy. Nobody go and put ice cubes on your very not water resistant computers, please. We don't want a lawsuit here from Creedy making bad
suggestions. Water cooling is a thing, so.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Go water cool your PCs. Get the picture out.
Yeah, clueless guys. Oh, water cooling is a thing. Oh, I can put an ice cube on my computer. It should work. Oh god, perfect.
I gotta say, Trident Esports round 1 makes me pretty confident for round 2. Did DXA have any map picks that they could really take that level of consistency off Trident? I mean, the consistency does come from the amount of time you've put into a map, but when it's that good, I truly believe they could get that out of just about anything.
Yep, I mean, if I had to put you, what the information I was giving to you, on average, Trident is faster on every single map than DXA, and it's not even anywhere close to any of the maps. So
how do you counterpick that?
Yeah, so it is a uphill battle. It is literally a David versus Goliath, and this time David has literally doesn't even have a rock to throw at Goliath. But we're gonna go back into the game, and we'll see how
breathing
things will
on him. Blow at the giant and see if it falls over on its own accord. That's about what they're hoping for here. DXA up against a god they haven't seen bleed yet, I suppose, as Trident comes through looking fantastic. Into round 2, DXA's map pick has to go well for them.
Yeah, this is now you have to do something, because if they don't get this one, it's gonna come even ever so unlikely as we go on, as Pixels has a bit of a moment at the start, so it does put a bit of pressure on Kimi, who is also in the mud. So J-Swag and Payback get off to a simple start to start off Vortex.
And you can't say that DXA have done poorly. They are here in the semi-finals, but it's interesting to see, because I don't think that they played all of this split. They have a bit of a late entry as well. They definitely turned up really, really well in event number 1 with the different map set. But this time around, they have to do well, and it's Bywack and J-Swag out in front with no issues again by massive margins.
Yep, it's a 105.8, not the most fastest time in the world. I believe the PBs that they have, at least the information that I have, whether it's up to date is questionable, but currently at least the times on Vortex that for Bayback and Chasewag, we're gonna go the same that Verox had as well. 104 flats basically is what their potential is here. So similar to Verox Industries on the map, so you know, you have something to work with. Kimi or Pixels is probably the closest one on this map, but we see, hey, Chasewag missed the quarter pipe. There is a chance.
Oh. And Pixels out ahead as well, with no mistakes from Bywack. He's actually behind both members of DXA right now, looking for an ace. You can see why this was the map pick, but oh, Pixels, the only one left to fight this now, as Kimi makes a huge error there as well, slipping 3 seconds behind, still ahead of J-Swag. They can get a victory out of this, but Pixels has to hold off Bywack, and a mistake there as well means Bywack and J-Swag as well, possibly here, depending on the time lost, could actually be, yeah, there it is. The ace position is regained here as Pixels is chasing up J-Swag with Kimi.
Yep, it looked all but promising, but even after that early mistake from J-Swag and Bayback also respawning all of a sudden, everything considered, this is a 109.8 round. We're blistering times in this APAC round, and it is a victory still for Trident Esports. But yeah, you know, not the fastest, but I would say that if there was any round DXA could have aced, it should have been this one. I don't think Trident Esports are really gonna give a second chance with another one.
Probably a bit of a choke there as well. I mean, DXA know how fast Trident is, so they're not going to be safing, I don't think, anything for the entirety of this matchup. DXA are going to be pushing it on every single corner, and that's going to create mistakes. If one doesn't come out, it does mean DXA are probably going to set some very good times here, but to be able to ace Trident here is a huge ask mentally.
Yep, and it seems that Trident Esports really want to give DXA a chance. They're like, you know what, guys? We feel bad for that previous map. You go and try and get an ace on this one. You go, do your best, you know, as Payback already is overtaking Kimmy. What a nice guy. So we'll see. Can DXA do it? They have a chance to get this one done. And, I mean, again, 2 chances in a row. Surely they get the second one. Kimmy really doesn't want to follow the script here, so seems that JSwag and Kimmy are the ones fighting, and Kimmy, well, it still holds on, so it is a victory for DXA. So, you know, not the worst. Could have been better.
Victory. Yeah, I mean, DXA definitely coming through with a fight here at the very least. Trident still up 6-3, but they aced the last map on their own choice. Map choice, of course, but DXA putting a fight back gives some level of hope to them.
I mean, it is, but when you think that, okay, Pixels, it's the quarter pipe, the chances they've been given have been on a silver platter with a Michelin star meal on them, and they've been like, no, I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't like this. I prefer APAC cuisine over this rubbish Michelin star meal. I don't care about aces or anything. But yeah, I mean, you gotta take advantage of those moments. I mean, we say that, of course, there's a difference between the skill here as well, and Payback has a bit of a mistake, but once you're being given those moments, you have to take them. It's just, otherwise you're in this position that DXA is at the moment.
Kimmy on the heels of JSwag right now, though, hunting for at least a draw, but it does look like JSwag has the better pace. A big mistake from Kimmy there as well, and it might have just found Trident another ace, which will put them 1 point away here from a victory. It'll be 9-3 against DXA. Trident still looking so good.
9-3 the score. They only need 1 more point to take the track point as well, so looking good for them. They don't really have to do much effort to go for it, so DXA need 2 aces to make it equal and then get a victory. And judging by the fact that Pixels hit the checkpoint, it is looking rather dire, but you know, anything can happen. It is Vortex. I mean, there's a pipe there, reactor there. Possibilities can exist.
Don't say anything can happen. You're gonna curse them into nothing happening, and this being a perfect round for Trident Esports.
Nice
try.
It's not.
Nice
there we go.
No, I have the curse today. We've swapped. That's
nice try, Gex.
It's on me.
Yeah. Keep talking. Keep talking.
Bywhack is doing terribly and will not make a comeback here because nobody else is going to make a mistake. Oh, it's not working.
I mean, JSwag is first. He will get the identity anyway cleanly, so Kimmy really has to send it in order to get it, and Pixels is also far behind, so I think even if JSwag does respawn, he should be in the clear, and it seems he doesn't really want to have anything to do with it. If anything, Kimmy is the one that hits the block there, and Pixels is going to come in second, Payback will be third, and Kimmy will come in fourth, and it will be a victory, 104.9, so we get a 104 to end it off as well, and it is an 11-4 on the scoreline as well. And it is a track point, and we move on to the third map, which I didn't note down. So if you remember what it is, unless, of course, we can wait for like 10 seconds and it will load into the map. But can you give us an answer? Oh, you can't because it's sinuous.
No, you can't. Sinuous. The map that we said had the most consistent ending as one of the easiest identities in the map pack right now, and yet we've seen struggles with it. I doubt that we're going to see those struggles out of Trident.
I mean, but if you're Verox Industries, you would be right now taking intense notes because They
Oh,
played
yes.
Sinuous
Yes, we would.
before, so now they can be like, okay, Trident Esports, Sinuous, see what they can do on
Correct
this one.
comparison here, yeah.
Yep, that's so, you know, there is a bit of an advantage to take the first semi. You cannot rely on it, but, you know, if you have the chance, then you might as well use it for Verox Industries. But for now, at least, the only advantage that TXA have at the moment is the fact that they are still in the running for this round, as Trident Esports on their map pick want to do the same that they did on Control, it seems.
Oh, Pixels. A bad line, straight into the wall. It's being held well by Kimmy here, actually a really tight line through there, but might not have the pace on J-Swag and Biwack. But as soon as you go into this ice section, it can mean everything. Kimmy cutting a good line right on top of J-Swag. They need this desperately on a map pick that goes to Trident as well. Kimmy is putting up a fight in round 1.
Yeah, but he's close, but can he hold on? Bayback's entry is going to be much better. And there it is.
Oh,
doesn't matter. Kimmy tried, but it is
through.
still an ace. Sinuous strikes again. He tried his best, but that entry is still not a given. You have to make sure you are going to be good there, and if you don't get it right, it does allow for the other players to come in and swipe that position away. So it was a clear example of the difference in entry can make a world of difference.
That was... Actually, for a round that goes to an ace, there's often not much that you would say positively out of the losing side of that. But I gotta say, Kimmy put a lot of question into that. Can they do it again? Kimmy holding really good pace through here. Very good line, but still trailing up. Can they cut the tight line through this once again? Yes, a little tighter than Trident. And going into the ice section, well, it was a good line last time. A little wider this time around, but does have a good exit back onto the cement.
Yeah, it's looking good again. Kimmy is up in front with the J-Swag and Baywack are the ones to go for it. But again, will it be the difference in entry?
Oh, Kimmy.
Oh, both! Kimmy and Baywack both have a bit of a moment there. Baywack having it twice!
Oh no, Pixels made it. That was Baywack, sorry.
Oh, but Kimmy makes a mistake again. Could have been a draw. Could have been a draw, man. Could have been a draw, man. Kimmy had 3 times a respawn. Bayback had twice. You know, the difference.
But when you're seeing the position on the back of your car swap over and over and over again as well, that number changing, you know you're not out ahead, you push yourself. Even a simple finish on that, if you're trying to cut it as tight as possible to make the last moment of the map count, it will force errors like that. Even out of the likes of Trident, who are not particularly accident prone.
Yeah, but Kimmy indeed is... Bayback going for the big jump. That's definitely not how you want to approach that segment there. So we'll see how things will go. But this round, maybe Trident Esports, you know, not the cleanest one here. But of course, Chaseback is still comfortably in the front. Pixels is second, and Kimmy and Baywack, well, it seems to be coming to a draw. Unless something miraculous happens, but it seems that everybody this time, a gentleman's agreement, we will get a clean Sinuous identity and end it in a draw.
Yeah, I mean, once again, just a little bit of social distancing on the track for that one. Everybody's staying safe, but you know what? I don't think even the worst cough could bring down Trident at this point. 6-2 looking very, very good for them once again. But the draws are actually promising for DXA. If you just had more time on this, there are chances here for Trident, but I feel like they've just gotten out ahead too early for DXA.
Yeah, and it feels like a similar story to what we saw with Restless as well. Like, DXA had the opportunities to take those rounds, but it hasn't synced together. Like, we haven't seen like Kimmy and Pixels both be up in front when those opportunities come about. So it has been a bit of a tale of these semi-finals that yeah, it's one of the teams just hasn't had the link up, you know, and it seems that Kimmy doesn't have that ice as well. So you know, and Pixels doesn't have that corner. Nice flip to the checkpoint though, but it is looking to be an ace for Trident.
Kimmy has actually had until this moment the best ice slides around. Biwack has made a big error, cuts it too fine. But it shouldn't make too much of a difference here. A draw still making Trident Esports look even closer to winning this. The 3rd point coming out for DXA.
Yep. Well, it's a classic caster calls a certain certified ace, and it becomes a draw. I mean, what else is new? But
Yeah.
for now, at least, it gives DXA more chance to get a point, more points into the match. But it does feel like they have to get that. They have to make that one round count. They really need to have where they don't have a single mistake by either of the players. They hope Payback and Chasewag, somebody pulls the internet cable all of a sudden, and they get an ace on the board, and it's 7-6. But Kimi going extremely wide, and Pixels also allows for Trident Esports to go into the lead for now. But let's see how things will go as we go ever so closer to the identity.
Iwak and J-Swag on top of each other, leading well from Trident. There is a good chase here, and this time it's actually from Pixels. Kimi has been the most promising out of DXA so far, but it should be a clean finish here. It's not too much pressure on Trident, and the ace does come through. It was just one map later than we expected.
Yep, that will be the result for this one, as Kimi is trying to get some cool wicked stunts
Onto
in.
the roof.
Yeah, I could have almost made it, but you know, worth is where it tries. We don't give out points. Twiggy does do it for Challenger League, but we're not so gracious here, and so it is a 10-3, 3-0, and a possible match point upcoming for Trident Esports on Airwalk as well. So let's see how things are gonna go here. I don't know. I don't remember. I'm trying to think if DXA played this map on how well they did. I do believe it was one of those cases where they were really good, but it was one of those moments where if they tended to slightly overcook in the identity, you know, you go for it, and they have to go for it in this situation as well. So we'll see if that happens.
They've got to send it the entire time. They have no chance if they don't take this strongly enough to put fear into Trident Esports. So I hope you were picturing the buff up montage in the background for DXA, because they're gonna need one of those film perfect moments to come in strong here, and it doesn't look like it. Pixels already making a big error in the first section of the map before the jump, and Kimi is the only hope they have, and is trailing both J-Swag and Biwak.
They are making it look convincing as always. Kimi goes for a bit of airtime. It does work out. It does lose a bit of time. But Payback and J-Swag currently in 1 and 2 as they go into the bumper section and going into the identity. I mean, still, it can happen. Even J-Swag and Payback can overcook this one. And whether they will do it is a different case. So we go for the whee.
We go for the wee.
Yeah, but everybody misses. But Payback needed to respawn, but he gets it the second time around. So even then, it is still an ace for Trident Esports. So, you know, chance was given to get a draw. Didn't happen.
Yeah, it was more of a w, less of the e on that one. Only made it halfway through before the error came out. Trident Esports, I mean, this is going to be a very strong map for them. Yet again, any map that doesn't promote consistency, with the consistency Trident Esports has, they're going to come up over the top of most opponents in this region right now. Like you said, trying to make the region theirs. Trident Esports have a very good chance at it, because if they do take this one strongly, I feel like they are going with a very good mental state into the grand final.
Yep, it seems that will be the case. But I mean, I would say that Trident Esports, any less than a grand final, I think would be a disappointment for them at this point. And so it is that DXA are in a position to take some points here as well. But it is, of course, that it is the main man J-Swag up front, but he either gets a weird slowdown or already knew that he was going to crash. So DXA, they need to get it. Possibility?
Oh, it's looking good.
Maybe?
It's looking very good. There it is, the ace coming through for DXA, and they're actually going to go even with Trident Esports here. That is the first time DXA have looked strongly superior to Trident in a round.
Yeah, I mean, hey, all of the doubters in chat, there is possibilities, you know, comeback is real, get your copium tanks back in here, inhale, and we're back in this DXA all the way through. Or Trident Esports are gonna cut off our copium supplies in a few rounds. We'll see which one is going to happen.
Yeah, it was more of a less of the e, on that one. Trident Esports are going to go even with Trident Esports here. That is the first time DXA have looked strongly superior to Trident in a round.
All right, well, let's see which one is going to happen.
J-Swag starts well, but the landing could be better here for DXA if they'd pulled it off right. It's gone poorly, though, particularly for Pixels. Landing going straight there is going to slow him down massively. Biowak out ahead, still a contest from Kimmy right now, though. And a good line through here will put Kimmy out ahead, at least for a moment. J-Swag does manage to hold the line better, though, through the engine off section there. Sorry, braking off section there.
Yep, that will be that will be the to decide here. But can they now get it? Trident Esports actually have had a few troubles on the identity, but it seems that this time they're not gonna give an inch or a mile. It's an ace, and it's been 3 aces so far. So how long can we keep this one going?
Clean from everybody on the identity, actually. Pixels losing a bit of time there on the end, but it was already over by that point. So Kimmy still showing strong promise for DXA, but just behind the pack, Trident Esports is really, really setting the pace again.
Yep, they are now back in action, and Kimmy and Pixels, they gotta get a certified ace going once again if they want to bring us to a good round score again. 6-6 would be a nice way to go about it. But Bayback and J-Swag now seem to be getting more warmed up into this one. Start was a bit spinning, but now they are feeling much more comfortable as Pixels gets a few pixel clips on the wall and the corner. So it is up to Kimmy again to be up front.
That really does show the pressure that Trident Esports puts on their opponents, because that is an error I don't think I've seen that particular point here in the competition so far. J-Swag still leading here with Kimmy. A contest available. Do they snipe it on the identity? No. It is going to be a clean one for both, though, as Pixels comes in behind. At least DXA pushing back for a draw here.
Yeah, they take it to 7-4. They keep the possibility of, getting an ace in and putting themselves on their first track point possibility. But now it is Trident Esports who have match and track point capabilities, and only an ace away to do it and move themselves to a comfortable grand final position. So DXA, all the work to do, but it is, as we already alluded to, I think throughout the entire thing, it's now or never, more than never, or more than now, if anything. So we'll see. J-Swag does have a bit of an awkward start, or at least the middle sector here. So looking at least somewhat promising for DXA, but they do have to still overtake DXA.
Yeah, like you said, not just more, I think it's absolutely crucial that it is right now from DXA. Even if there is just some small points gained by Trident, DXA would be pretty well counted out of this at this point, and they need it right now. They are on top of Biowak, and possible here. They have to snipe it though, and Biowak has such a clean finish here. Looks pretty clean by everybody, but oh, J-Swag even came through with the snipe. It's a victory, putting Trident only 1 point away.
Yeah, he actually just absolutely sent it, man. Got the lowest bumpers, full acceleration, and just went for it. And well, he was 4th position. So yeah, why not? You might as well go for it. You know your teammate is gonna come with the goods, and he was like, I'll just whip out a nice bakery, cook a nice identity, and there you go. He's now only 1 point away with his teammate to go into the grand final with Kimmy and Pixels chasing down literal ghosts at this point. They haven't been really able to really grasp on anything. So yeah, Trident, I mean, literally, the Trident is really being put through their chest at the moment for DXA, because this is going to be possibly an ace to come in, unless J-Swag wants to make it a bit more interesting.
Chat knows they only need 2 aces. They could do it here. Biowak has to make a mistake, though, and it's Pixels to go wide. The pressure keeping up. And it will be Biowak leading it up. Another victory here, in fact, as J-Swag comes through in 3rd, and Pixels recovers from the error too late to keep them in the match. DXA will go out here in the semis as Trident Esport get a full sweep in the series.
Yep, that looked rather comfortable indeed. As we come back to our point of view. I mean, yes, hey, it is something where we, of course, now after the match is concluded, Thanks to 9to5 Gamer for contributing the channel points to everybody involved. But yeah, it was rather expected for Trident Esports to take it. It was DXA gave it a good shot. On some of the maps, they had actually possibilities to take a few aces. But again, it just didn't link up. I feel like it was a similar case that happened with Restless. When it was a possibility, it just didn't come together. But you know, they did their best. They got to the semifinals, so well done for them as well. And now we have to wait for the grand final, which will be Ferox Industries versus Trident Esports. I don't know if they've actually played each other in this case. If there is anybody on Wikipedia, or if you're on Wikipedia, if you have a possibility to check. I don't know if they've actually played each other.
I am.
Maybe they played
Ferox,
it.
I'm not seeing it.
I'm thinking.
No, they did. They played Trident Storm, though,
Trident
not
Storm,
Trident
yes.
Esports. So no, these guys have not met up here in Stage 2 Regional 3. It has not happened.
Yeah, okay, so that much is true. So I'll take a second look as well if it has happened beforehand. But I believe they have. It must be that maybe like in the first few rounds on day 1 they have come together. So we'll have to wait and see. But for now, at least we will go on to a short break, and after that, the Grande El Finale of the APAC Regionals is gonna come your way with Ferox Industries going up against Trident's Esports. So don't go too far. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody from across the world. We are back with the Trackmania World Tour APAC Regional. The final match will be here. It's again, of course, no switches here, Greedy and Kex, but the team in the grand final are a bit different. Trident Esports, your usual, but it is Verox Industries who have finally made it to a grand final. And of course, it has to be Trident Esports that they have to go against. So we'll see how well they do this time.
Well, like you said, you did the research while we were off on that break, and the last time these two teams met up, it did not go well for Ferox. Trident came up with a 4-0, but I agreed with you then as well that they are looking better today. My issue is that both of these teams have some major consistency. It's the pace on Trident that makes them such a threat right here. If I had to make my pick, it would be Trident for sure.
Yes, of course, if you were a betting man, you would go for Trident Esports. But yes, we saw a very convincing performance against Restless. Granted, Restless didn't have, you know, the sync that I've been putting. You know, the sync didn't go well for them. But overall, when you take that aside, it looked really good for Verox Industries. I would say, like, they are looking rather good. Whether they will be able to put up with Trident Esports, who have the pace to go up against that consistency, will be to see. But we saw again, even up against DXA, there were rounds where, I'm gonna be honest, if it had gone DXA's ways and they would have taken those chances, they would have gotten some track points there. So it seems that even in the moments that matter, Trident Esports can be fallible. But will they be able to give Verox Industries those chances? We'll have to wait and see.
Well, the chances aren't far away either. 30 seconds until our match begins here. We have to make our map picks and everything. Judging by the history of these teams, what maps do you think we'll see? Because like you said, Ferox actually just got a look at Trident on some of their own map picks from last series. So do you think they're going to repeat those? Or maybe did Trident get them a bit wary on those?
Well, it's hard to say because I'm quickly going to, well, first of all, change to the in-game view. Second of all, I'm gonna quickly pull up their times to see any differences in that regard if we do have something spicy here. I mean, there are two maps that there is a possibility. There is Grip and there's Vortex. And no, there is not. Vortex.
Grip is gone. Vortex is picked though.
Ooh, it's also in it as well. And it is indeed water, Marina, by the way. I've been drinking excessive amounts of water. I think in the last 2 days, I've guzzled down like 5 liters of water. So 5 to 6 liters. So keep yourself hydrated, everybody. It's important. And it's rather hot in Europe at the moment. We're sort of having a heat wave as well as APAC region is enjoying more cooler times, I guess. Because I know, for example, when Max was here for the Challenger, of course, Australia at the moment is having winter. So I wish I had that.
Yeah, we are indeed. I would be quite happy with that if the heating in this room was working yet, but this room is all under progress. If you've noticed my background, so there's an air conditioner installed now, just waiting for it to be pumped full of air or whatever they have to do. I don't know. I'm not an electrician, but you know, it's going to be good in here soon. But that is the maps picked away, the random being speed there. So I think there is a possibility we see this go a little margin here. I don't think we're seeing the full best of 7. I think Trident is going to take this and maybe lose a map out of it.
Yes, and also the fun fact is that, yeah, that clearly Trident Esports have done their research because they did want to ban one of the maps. They banned Grip out of it as well, and that was one of the chances that would have had for, and it was the better chance for Verox Industries. The other one, Vortex, they are equal on it with Verox Industries, and we saw they all have 104 flats, as I said previously as well there. So they have similar PBs on that one. It now comes down to execution. I feel like if anything, Verox Industries have to take this one. Doesn't matter if it's 10-9, 21-20. I don't know what the hell that map score is going to be in the end, but it has to be Verox Industries. Otherwise, it's going to be a tough uphill pattern for Trident Esports. But, I mean, it's their first appearance in the grand final, so they gotta make this one count. You don't get these chances often, and especially now with the global tour points. I mean, you know, it's good amount of points. They're in the grand final. They have a nice amount already secured, and I mean, they get the grand final win. You get a bit of pocket change as well, and you get a few more points for the global tour. Very nice indeed. But let's see. The grand final is upon us, so let's take it away, Gex.
In the chat, Sved putting in, he hopes New Zealand wins here. If you're paying attention to this matchup, every single player coming in representing New Zealand right now. So I think there's a good likelihood of that one.
I mean, it's 100% chance. I mean, if you want to support anybody New Zealand, you know, you cannot go wrong with that one. But if you have to pick a team, well, then each to their own.
Great transition from Sved, really, really low there, and gets an enormous amount of pace out of it, leading up the pack now, as everybody's still pretty close here. Planetary Goose falling behind a little way, but with Sved in the lead, probably not too concerned at this exact moment. Sved has to hold that though, gets spat out left, and we've seen that go wrong before. Does he hold the line? Bywak right on top of him, but will lose that pace a little bit. Sved is holding this well.
Yeah, they're gonna come down to the identity, and I do believe Bywak doesn't have enough acceleration to get even close to Sved, so a clean round of Vortex, and I believe this is gonna be a 104. It is indeed. Well, it's a 104 high, but everybody gets through, and this is a great race to start us off. Hey, more of that, please. More of that. Thank you very much. We will take it gladly.
Sved actually the only one to get the 104. Everybody else just coming in to the 105s. The very, very low there, but a very, very fast-paced round for something so consistent from everybody on the field right now. This map could really bring out the absolute best in both these teams. And Ferox already showing that they have an answer for Trident Esports. They just have to do it time and time again here. They need a victory.
Yeah, that is exactly why as well, and so far at least looking rather good for all players considered. It seems that we are getting a bit of a 1v1 up front as well. So it's Bywak and Planetary Goose, and Sved and J-Swag doing a bit of a 1v1 duel at the front and in the back. Whether they will be able to hold on is a different story. J-Swag will have a much better exit, and Sved hits the corner there. So Planetary Goose, I mean, has impeccable entry into the identity. He's gone. Bye-bye. So that is going to be another draw, and that's going to be a decent time as well with that identity, I feel like. Yep, 104.8. So clearly bringing in the times, but it is a classic draw for the round.
J-Swag through the identity there, came from 4th to 2nd as well. A big pace set through there, really, really holding the speed and the acceleration through there. Very consistent, and could have generated some big times if the earlier part of that track had been perfect, but you can't ask for perfect for here. You can just ask for a win, and nobody has found that yet.
But this is exactly what we wanted. I feel like if there's any team at the moment that can give a run for the money, of course, granted Antic could be one of them as well. I feel like Ferox Industries, given how much practice they've had, and with J-Swag hitting the corner there as well, I mean, it's looking rather good for Ferox Industries to take this map. Of course, Sved, he only has to do just hold on to that position. But it's now important that Planetary Goose gets that first position. And with Bywak falling off the pipe, looking alright, perfect for Ferox Industries.
Yeah, and an ace here would look great. It's their map pick to do it on as well, so they have been putting Trident Esports to the test. I feel like Trident feel the need to push themselves, which it's just a challenge alone to make them feel like that. So Ferox acing here, this is a very, very positive sign for them, and they needed this to start the map off.
Yeah, and like I said, it's crucial. They need to get off to a map win to start them off. It's especially against Trident Esports, you gotta make those map picks count. So you really have to go for this one, and currently looking very promising indeed. Trident Esports pushing a bit more. I feel like they also know that they have to go for this one. Of course, granted, it's not one of their stronger maps, and it is a map where Ferox Industries are unequal to them. So clearly showing that as J-Swag doesn't get the quarter pipe, that they are putting it's, you know, backs against the walls. They are being pushed a bit, and it seems that now, you know, when the pressure is, you know, a dial higher, Trident Esports at least not off to a good start, at least on Vortex.
Yeah, crank it up a notch, and Trident Esports, it's the mental game right now that they aren't competing on, and Every level here, you can see them really pushing themselves, but Sved, he must be feeling the pressure as well, just loses the wheel grip for a moment and slams into a wall, and now Biwak can still take this back. A fair gap to first place, though. Planetary Goose is looking comfortable.
Yeah, the Planetary Goose clearly... but no, we mentioned Comfort that he's in the mud. Biwak is gonna get first position, but I feel like even with that, Planetary Goose is able to still come in because Chasewak has been quite a fair bit behind, but those are the rounds that you really don't want to just, you know, throw away, especially when Planetary Goose actually has been enjoying the comforts that you said. But now he was very comfortably in that block for that round, so we'll have to see if he can rectify that mistake for the next round. But for this round, Planetary Goose maybe a bit shaken by that wall hit.
Ferox, though, we already talked in their last series about how they are a team that is very comfortable taking draws when they're in a lead. It doesn't seem to worry them, just edging their way closer to that victory and taking it in the long term of things. And with a 6-3 lead, they should be even more comfortable with that prospect. A draw there, not looking too bad for them. They might be able to do it again, but right now, Ferox at the back by some margin.
Yeah, a bit of a few unfortunate mistakes to start us off, and this is where I feel like Trident Esports, you know, once they smell the blood in the water, they are quite illegal, and they are not gonna let you even take a chance to come back. I don't think any of these players will respawn here, because if anything, I feel like they will be keeping an eye on the splits. If not, well, granted, they usually go for it anyway, but this is exactly why you do not give an inch to Trident Esports, because they will snap it right back. It's 6-all, and what looked to be like a promising start for Ferox Industries is now again tied, and we go into round 6 with 6-6.
Sharks with tridents. That's a terrifying thought if you've ever played Minecraft. This is just ranged sharks at this point. We're seeing some real threat from Trident Esports, but Biwak, the entry to the map, lethal to him there. We've seen it be problematic to some squads in the past. I didn't think it would be Trident that we'd see that problem from, but Biwak slipping back early here. It's not too much time lost. Planetary Goose gives them a chance as well with a big error early.
That will be a bit of an unfortunate one. Had a bit of a quarter pipe moment there, but I mean, again, as long as Planetary Goose keeps it clean, he could come back, but Sved is a bit shaky, and Biwak is the one to come into this one. He's again in an ace position. I mean, Trident, they gave like a spark of hope for Ferox Industries, but they are very quickly to snatch it back, because if it's another ace, then they go from 6-3 to 6-9, which is gonna be nice, but not so nice if you're looking at it from a Ferox Industries perspective.
Yeah, like you said, Trident Esports, they just smelt the blood in the water. They knew it, and it's chum time, because that is ace. Trident Esports taking map number 1. Ferox's pick 2. This is worrying for Ferox Industries.
Yeah, and we go into 6-9. As I said, it is an ace. Planetary Goose has a bit of a troll despair moment on the ground. A bit of reflection, I guess, you know. Sometimes you gotta stare deep into the void, and hopefully you saw a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel. A spark of hope, because they need an ace now to get this one done. Any other result means it will be Trident Esports to take this track point, and this is the track where they should have been able to take this one. It looked like they were able to take this one, but they have to now really put out the guns here. Sved does fall a bit behind, but that's not too bad. It is still 2/10 that he has to go for, but given that this is still doable on the track, with a bit of a clip there, we'll see if that will come into fruition as we go into the rest of the track.
Trident need a single point to take the map here. It is looking very, very good as they look to close this one out. J-Swag leads it up as well, and Biwak has the option to make this an ace. Has to get out of front of Planetary Goose, though. And Planetary Goose actually sniping first place right now. Has to keep it, though. Even if he does, Sved needs to make a position as well, and as they come now through the identity, it does not look likely. Sved a full second behind, and it just needs to be held by Trident Esports. Even that, a draw found, will mean that Trident Esports do take that map from Ferox.
Yeah, that's a bit of a bittersweet one for Verox Industries. Of course, very good times to end it off as well. The two players up the top got a point up 104, so still a great first map. More of that, please. If we get at least close to fair, you know. I mean, even if it goes to be a 4-0, as long as it's a close 4-0, I'm all for it. But we see a map that I think we should have seen a lot earlier, which is Pool.
Yep.
Now, it is one of those maps where, you know, everything can go smoothly, and then you reach the end, and then everything seems to just momentously combust into absolute chaos in a blink of an eye. So we'll see if Verox Industries and Trident Esports are a bit different in that regard, or they want to have, you know, like to have a bit of fun.
Pool had to be in the map picks for Trident, though, especially in a grand final. Bringing in the water theme here, it's almost their namesake. And J-Swag is making it look good for them as well. Biwack now just taking that second position. A little bit of a wheel touch will slow Biwack down. And now a big error trying to recover it as well means this is looking like a draw. There's not much between J-Swag and Planetary Goose, though, and that could shift. Ferox trying to find a victory here. A touch on the back wheel from Planetary Goose is going to hold him back, though, and I don't see J-Swag giving up this lead at that point.
Yeah, and Sved having a bit of a water moment as well. It seems that at least the margins are large enough that it should come down to a draw here, unless something miraculous happens in the end. But it seems that, yeah, they are going to come down to another draw at a very similar start that we had on Vortex. We started off with a few draws, but now we are back into this one as well, and we'll see how things will go for them. I mean, again, identity, like everything was looking good, but as soon as we got closer and closer to the identity, the chaos already looms in the distance. You know, it has such a area of effect that even before we get to the identity, there's already things happening. But for now, everything's cool, calm, and collected. We are gonna go back into resting mode. We have the first half of the track to drive, and then we get to the second half.
J-Swag once again leading here for Trident Esports as Biwack makes his move. An ace potential for Trident to get out ahead. Still early in this map. J-Swag and Biwack are fighting off Planetary Goose, though, who has had some nice lines, but through this pool section, the identity itself could prove the difference. It looks, though, like Trident have picked this map for a very good reason. Some time gained by Planetary Goose here and there, but generally the pace held by Trident.
Yeah, that was a clean execution for all of the players involved at the top three. It's just that Trident Esports were able to make a good enough lead up the front that they were able to execute it until the very end and take a 1-4 lead at the moment. So looking good, at least from Trident Esports perspective, and it is their first map pick, so you would think, at least we've seen so far, that when Trident Esports goes onto their own map picks, they look rather comfortable, to be honest.
Planetary Goose gets up on one wheel for a second, but it does not count as a bump there. Acceleration debuff is not found and does maintain pace well enough to get out into the lead for a second. As tight line sacrifices that lead, though, and Ferox go to the back. It's J-Swag and Biwack up front with comfortability.
Yeah, well, this is looking to be your usual Trident Esports moments here. They're gonna go for a back-to-back ace here, looking rather good here, and it is with quite good comfort as both of the players getting off 54 as well, and it's looking really good for Trident Esports, and Verox Industries might need to go back to the drawing board, at least for the next few maps, because this one maybe could be used to take a bit of time to think about what is upcoming still. You take the L here but turn it into a W later.
Here comes again around as J-Swag just holding pace with this pack, but Ferox with a good chance here if they don't make an error. But now it's Trident Esports again, looking to finish this off in a big way. The ace would win them this map. The Brazilia's already on the scoreboard, and they are looking to claim this in a big way. They have that comfort back. Stead is the only one who can form that answer, but more than a quarter of a second behind, and chasing is not a good look for Ferox.
Yeah, it's looking at the moment like Trident are gonna put this into bed quite quickly, making it a convincing 4-rounder, unless Sved
wants to prolong it for one more
No?
round. Unlucky.
No.
Tried, but was not still close enough. What is that horn, Planetary Goose? What is that? Oh my
Just
god.
screaming.
That sounds
Nothing
like
but screaming.
That sounds like a duck in distress or something. Oh my
A
goodness.
duck in distress.
Oh my god.
You do have different ducks in Europe, I'll give
Or
you
a
that.
goose,
Maybe that's
to
what
be
I'm
honest.
hearing.
Could be a
A
goose.
goose?
As well.
Yeah, it could be a goose. I can hear that. But
Holy
yeah,
moly.
Ferox, they are under threat here. 2 maps down. And Trident feeling more and more confident, you can tell. Less mistakes coming out as this goes on. Trident take the pool map as expected, and Ferox have to go back to their own map pick and make it look good here. It is going to be Airwalk, and I don't know if this is the right choice against Trident.
I will have to see. Granted, now that I think about it, Planetary Goose, having a goose horn makes a lot more sense than a duck. So,
Yeah, true.
you know, a brain moment for me there. But if anything, yeah, it is going to be an interesting choice here. I mean, then again, how many maps you can really go for? They had Grip, but Trident Esports banned it. Vortex was the other one, but they lost that one. So, you know, the possibilities here are rather thin for Ferox Industries. I think they just have to, you know, pick a map. They feel like they're gonna be confident on this one, and they're gonna try and give their best against Trident Esports, which, looking at things at the moment, you know, everybody's equal, nothing to really separate all of the teams. We do have a bit of a 1v1 everywhere around, but everybody's sort of nice even distancing at the moment.
Planetary Goose out ahead though, and Sved leading up behind. A bit of an error on the landing there. The transition not quite clean on an error, the area of the map that really shouldn't be mistakes on. But it looks like a clean finish from everybody. Oh, maybe not. Planetary Goose makes contact and just makes it through, and Sved just bins it onto the edge of that ring.
Yep, that is indeed so, and I mean, it's 1,000 between the teammates, so, you know, it is an ace as well, so you couldn't have got it any closer, at least, between the two teammates. But yeah, Planetary Goose having a bit of a moment there in the end. I mean, it's one of those moments. The best part about Identity is, like, I love about the fact is that you see your demise as you are going towards the end, you know. You already see, like, it was at this moment you knew you screwed up, you know. So it's one of the perfect meme templates as well. You see you're going towards the finish ring, and you're like, yep, this is not going to end well.
Well, that's why Airwalk is such a challenge, though. Even these hyper-consistent teams are going to make errors here. And Trident Esports, I just think they have that little bit more consistency than Ferox. And that is going to be lethal to Ferox if they cannot sort it very, very quickly.
Yeah, Sved, of course, having a bit of trouble early on, went a bit too ambitious on the grass, as you saw it on the screen early on as well. So it is Planetary Goose to get a draw in, but Chasewag and Baywag really lethal in this, and they go for the low attempt here. But can they actually do it? Oh, Chasewag, it's the finish block. So Sved, you know, comes from the back, but he needs to actually get this one. Oh, has to fully release in order to not overjump it. So does get a victory, you know. They pull in a few points, so it is 2-4. You know, you gotta take something out of this one.
Honestly, victories are good for Ferox right now. They are just struggling to get more than ties. They've had one good ace here that made them look fantastic, and they weren't able to hold to that. And now, consistent victories, that is what they are looking for here. You do not have to win in a big way, whether it is 10-9 or 10-0. A win is a win.
Exactly, and we'll have to see if that will come into fruition in the rest of the round. It is, of course, looking where Ferox Industries are literally on the spoiler of Baywak, and it is just, I mean, they have to go for it, and they are really sending it as well. Even Planetary Goose currently overtaking the member of Trident, and let's see how the Identity go. You know, the classic one-liner. It's gonna come down to the Identity, so let's see how this one goes. It is gonna be a 1v1. Sved has fallen a bit behind, but it gives us a nice overview of the two up in front.
Whoa.
Both are sending it, and both are absolutely missing it. And it allows for Chasewag to come in and yoink second position. That went from a draw to an absolute catastrophe for Ferox Industries.
Sved barely made it through at the end there as well. Just the back right wheel making contact and getting him through the finish line. Definitely looking good once again for Trident Esports here, and like I said, I don't know if this was the right map pick. Airwalk with the consistency needed when you are going up against Trident Esports is so tough.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it. There's a reason why we put Trident Esports in a similar pedestal that is put esports in MEA, for example. They have taken APAC like literally a grasp hold. Like they're literally like Poseidon or Neptune, whichever way you want to go about it. They're just, you know, put down, Trident down, and they're holding APAC like in a pure, pretty much one-sided affair. And we see that like Planetary Goose, I mean, he's doing well in this round. It's just Swed has been falling behind, and now Payback and Chaseback all of a sudden overtake this one. They've been crucial on the identity, and it seems that they're just gonna not even give a chance to Planetary Goose, who hits the finish block as well. And it's an ace, a 4-rounder again, and it's 2-10. I mean, it's looking rather comfortable, gotta be honest.
Yeah, no matter who they are putting that Trident down, Trident Esports, I'm going to give a shout out to one of my favorite streamers out there, Rainwater. It's a bit of a statement of what are you doing in my waters?
I mean, the problem is that it's currently more, it's not even like pouring water, it's literally a waterfall at this point.
It's already, the room is filled. You're underwater.
Yeah, it's literally, you're in a sinking ship
the
at the bottom of the ocean, and you're desperately trying to get back to the surface somehow. So that's where it needs to start off at the moment. I mean, you know, things have gone off-road for Verox Industries, but maybe they can get back on road on this map.
Well, it's not over yet, and the copium in chat must start here. It has to be every single map back to back if Ferox want to take it, though. And Trident, they have been so consistent. I don't see them letting this go. In fact, I could see this being a repeat of the last matchup between these two. Trident Esports bringing the 4-0 map sweep. Could be an eventuality here. In fact, it's looking like a likelihood, but one last chance to change that. I gotta say, Trident, not just coming in looking so good, they do set a bar for the region, and we've already seen it push them. I mean, Ferox have never been this consistent before, and I attribute that to what Trident is bringing to the region.
Yeah, it's good to see as well, but it bodes well for things to come as well. We've already seen that usually when when the regions have like a standout team, they tend to give a big headache to the rest of the competition when we go into, for example, wildcards and such as well. And with currently Trident Esports as they are, and they are usually they have been putting in a lot of work to make this count as well. And with an ace on the board, 56 flat and a 56-3, they are looking good to take this one. And Verox Industries, I feel like a bit of the wind has gone as well. I did say that Vortex is a must-win for them to take something out of this one, and it seems that after that one, it's where Trident Esports have just, you know, grand final buff, and they're here to take this one.
Well, Trident Esports, like you said, the buff is on. Ferox might have answers, but they have to be found early, and they might be doing so. Out ahead, both members right now. They're going to look for the ace back, but this is a tough map once again for consistency. Bywhack already making his way back in between, trying to keep this ace situation under control. Planetary Goose now in his sights. Bywhack, a great ice slide there, but he does go wide. Planetary Goose holding the lead, but a great line from Bywhack into the forest and straight down through the trees. This is looking good again for Trident Esports to at least hold this to a draw.
Yeah, he's making it count when it matters, and with a good time as well. Ooh, Planetary Goose does get the finish there. Hits the left side of the block there, but he's able to still get back into the finish there. But it is a draw. Payback holds the line, and it is a good one for them as well. Of course, a bit of trouble for Trident Esports for that round, but given the context, it is Verox Industries. I mean, they put up a admirable performance. Again, this is one of those cases where if you take everything aside, like the times they put in, they would beat any other team in this tournament. But this is where they are up against Trident Esports, is the problem.
Ferox are here at the grand final for a reason. They solidified their position as second best here at the very least. And Trident are just out ahead right now. Like I said, setting a bar, and I think the region is stepping up to try and reach that. It's the best APAC has probably ever looked to this point. And right now, Trident out in front again, just to put a bullet point on that statement.
And it's looking like to be a good round as well. Both tribe of 55 as well, and they're getting faster and faster as well. 55-8, 55-8 by both of the members. They are making sure that this one is going to be a good match to end on. They're looking to get another 4-rounder in. If they get another ace here, Trident Esports solidify a grand final win yet again with a good performance. I mean, Vortex was a thriller, but it seems that Trident Esports want to make a nice clean one. 4-rounders across the board, and it seems that Sved is the only one that can really do anything about it. Planetary Ghost is not far in the wings, but Baywak and Chasewag looking to be comfortable. And with Sved clipping the corner,
Baywak.
it's gonna be a tough one.
Lethal for Ferox, but Baywak is on an absolute tear right now. This is an incredibly fast run, and J-Swag is not far behind. Baywak just made an overtake on his own teammate and is still pushing the gap further right now, looking to chase times as he comes across the finish line. It's looking good for it. A 55.884 is just so consistent.
Yep, and there it is. A 4-rounder secured. That is a GG already. That is done. There's nothing more that they can do about this one. And with that solidified, Trident Esports take another win in the grand final and make it look convincing. I mean, hey, Drake's in the chat. I mean, it's always good to see such a good performance. Verox Industries gave it their best, but Trident Esports are, for now at least, they are an echelon above in APAC for now.
Yeah. And Ferox, I don't think they looked bad. That last map was not the best display we had out of them, but Trident Esports, they're just a level ahead right now, and they did it in fashion in the last map that they are trying to set for themselves by looks of the Brazil 7-1 straight into the ace to the 10-1. That is the second time they did that tonight, so they are very, very strong coming in, just pushing the region to that next level, and they've needed it. The region is stepping up. They want this competition, and we've seen it all season long. Everybody's stepping up to the plate. It's just Trident Esports leading the charge, and they're going to be leading it right into a world-class scenario.
Yep, and the best part is, I'm just going to quickly glance over Wikipedia. Throughout the entire Stage 2, Trident Esports have only dropped, let me double check this, just to be sure, they've only dropped one map. Throughout the entire stage, they have only dropped one map, and that was in Regional 1, where they gave it in the grand final to Restless of teams as well. Other than that, absolutely clean performance of the APAC region, and it shows they have put in the effort, they put in the time, and they have absolutely arrived in APAC with a vengeance, and I'm really looking forward to what they can bring into the wild card as well, where we are hopefully they're gonna be there, that there isn't any issues with that, and because I know that the time zones for APAC and such can be a bit treacherous. They have to play at some very odd times for them, but I do hope they are gonna be there, and we'll have to see if that comes into fruition. But overall, hey, Trident Esports, it's a joy to watch, if anything.
Yeah. Super keen for it. Trident could really put a threat to many, many teams around the world right now, I think. And to see APAC stepping up to that level is a beautiful thing. I've had the privilege over the last 2 events now to step in here for the first time myself. It has been an incredible second event, and this regional number 3 didn't disappoint either. So thank you guys for having me back on. You guys in chat, you on the desk as well with me, Creedy. Thank you for having me on with you, and all of our production in the background. So it's been an excellent day and an awesome look into APAC.
I mean, lots of love to everybody in chat, you know, hearts out to you as well. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I have not done it yet, but I'm gonna put on the sunglasses. We're gonna do the cool emote here. Let's go. Cool's in the chat. We have had a cool time. in this Trackmania World Tour as well. I had the sunglasses prepared for this one. I got it off once, but here we go.
You know how to take us home. That's what we want to see. The cool finish is what we're seeing here. So, an awesome day. I can't wait to see what APAC has. I'm talking about a developing region here, but they really are. They're coming up fast, and I don't think they're going to stop here.
Yeah, it's a cool time as well. It's like I said. I mean, it's good to see. Like I've said this many times before. Trackmania World Tour has given chances to players and teams that would have never been able to do so, given the previous ways, of course. Because, of course, yes, Trackmania is a very EU-oriented game. But now with the opportunities we see, Foot Esports, MEA, APAC now getting Trident Esports, and even Antic still in it, Verox Industries as well. You have so many regions, NCSA with Damascus Gaming. There's so many out there that are now have the ability to show what they have. And they're showing some good stuff. So unless you have any final words for us to say for APAC or anything, I mean, there's nothing really to say.
What
it's
else
just a lot of
is
love.
there to say? I think we got summarized by that final series. Just an absolute domination of the region and a level to step up to. And I think everybody's keen for it. I'm certainly keen for it. Been taking a little bit of a break from Trackmania myself over the last few weeks, but I'm going to get back into it. I'm going to put myself on the grind, and hopefully I'll see all of you guys from chat around in-game as well. So, Creedy, take us out. I have had an awesome time here, but that is it for us.
Yeah, so as always, thank you everybody for joining for the last Trackmania World Tour APAC Regional. We still have EU to come after this, and of course the El Grande, the Grand League playoffs start later on today. So don't go too far. Keep it cool, keep it enjoyable, enjoy the last day of the weekend, and without further ado, we will see you off, and until next time.